Yo, 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 what up, what up, what up, what up? Happy Thursday, beautiful people. We are back. Look, I know it's been a while. I missed y'all too. But if we don't have time apart, how can we miss each other, right? I'm ready. I'm ready. It's been far too long for us to catch up and get back into things. And there's been a lot of stuff to talk about. I know we definitely are going to get into Foundation. We're starting with Foundation. But there's a couple other things I want to talk about too. We've got that Fantastic Four movie that came out. I was able to check that out. We have a whole mess of movie news that I think that you guys might find as interesting as I do. I want to get through all of it tonight. I did try to see if I can invite some of the blurs here, but I don't know who's going to show up. If any of them pop up in the comments, I'm going to drop them the link. You guys could join in too. But we're definitely going to get into stuff. Let me see what you guys are saying. Smoke. He's like, yo, we live? Yeah, we live. I know, right? It always says live, right? I'm gonna fix that. Some of them say deep dives. I'm gonna fix that so you know when we're really live. But yep, we live. We here. We here today. Who else we got up in here? Markeisha, always appreciate you. One of our members, the channel members. Hey, don't forget you guys could join in on the membership, like Markeisha did, and was able to see that foundation clip well ahead of everybody else. I think membership starts at like $1.99. If you guys are interested in getting more of me in your life, it doesn't even cost much, and you get all of these extra clips and behind the scenes reactions. The next thing you guys are gonna get is my other out of theater reaction for Fantastic Four. That's going to be coming out as well to all of my members. Now I'm like, what are you doing, Anthony? What's going on down there? I'm just getting my notes in order. I'm literally, man, it's like almost like from hand to mouth, like everything is happening so fast. So I'm just like, finishing up a couple things real quick so that we can enjoy this stream. But let me see who else we got up in here. Of course, Gothic Chick. I mean, you never told me, is this Gothic Chick or Gothic Chica? I'm getting Chica vibes. But yo, because she's like, she shows up early. She sent this one at like 7:30 in the morning. Like, whoa. God bless you. God bless you. Who else we got up in here? I am Tab Smash. What's going on, Tab Smash? Appreciate you coming through. Ah, love that photo. Love. Actually, I'm a little jealous. I'm a little jealous. When did you meet him? Was that at the retreat at the convention a couple weeks ago? I think you were in the comments telling me you were there. The what is it called? The cabin? Come on, paste. There we go. I'm jealous of that. That's a really cool photo though. Super, super cool photo. I want to see Fantastic Four 2 was always a favorite group growing up. You know, the Fantastic Four wasn't my favorite group. They really weren't. I really like the X-Men. I really like Spider-Man. I was really vibing with a lot of those other Marvel characters. The Hulk. The Fantastic Four, I didn't really connect with them. Their cartoon helped a lot. In the 90s, they had the Fantastic Four. Dun, 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 dun. That cartoon helped a lot. Um, but even then, I didn't really vibe with them until I think comic books with Jonathan Hickman came out. And then I was like, now I get it. Now I understand why we're here. All right, there we go. Now I can now I can rest easy. I got my notes together. I can talk to you guys. Let me put this here. Let me see what's going on. I need to check Foundation while waiting for From. Going to rewatch that again and again. Have you seen The Institute too? So I have not started The Institute yet, mainly because The Institute came out at a bad time. It came out at a time when with TV, when I do deep dives, when I do these breakdown videos, they consume me for like 2 months or more of my life. And the Institute came out like right before Superman, right before Fantastic Four, and right as I was in prep for Foundation. I didn't want to overextend myself by trying to watch that too. Plus, life, kids, all that other stuff. But it is one of those shows that I'm hoping I hear positive things about, so I can go back and maybe support it if it gets renewed for a season two. I definitely like the idea of supporting that. He's my boo, manifesting that. Yes, at the camp. Okay, yeah. Mm, mm. It's yogurt, y'all. I'm sorry. Y'all know I be eating every time we go live. I don't. I move so fast. I don't have time to eat. Mm, mm. I love yogurt. Who else we got? The Flash is my ultimate favorite too. Don't hate on DC or Marvel. Have a favorite of both. I'm with you on that. I like the Flash, and I like Green Lantern, and I actually like both of them more than I like Superman. So I'm super excited to see those characters done properly in the DCU, especially considering how much I enjoyed Superman. Now, you guys may have seen that I did publish my review, and some of you guys saw that I did like a spontaneous live stream last Saturday for a couple minutes, recorded my Superman review, and then I put out the final version. I enjoyed the movie. I really enjoyed the movie, and I never really say that about James Gunn's comic book stuff. I didn't really care for Suicide Squad. Guardians of the Galaxy 1 was cool. The rest of them I didn't really vibe with. Creature Commandos was fun. And then Superman, I was like, oh, I'm in. I am in. We're home now. All right. Sorry. It's one of them days. But yeah, you see I have like my Captain America sign here. But what you may not know is that, and you can't hear me, but what you may not know is that little shield up there is actually interchangeable, and I swap it out with my Green Lantern symbol and my Batman symbol whenever the mood calls. But let's get into it. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Do I have my thing on? Here we go. A lot of stuff to talk about. I want to get into Foundation. I want to get right into Foundation. They said Foundation was too dense. Can you believe that? Like, there are people out there who are watching season 1 of Foundation like, this is too dense. They said you don't need to keep up with this show as closely as we are because there's not that much in the details. I'm telling you, there is that much in the details, and that investment of time pays off. You don't need a PhD in like space algebra, but you do need to give it some attention, kind of like we do with From. Now, we're in season 3. Harry's got duplicates. Gail's got baggage. And the Mule? He's the scariest thing running around since rent increases. Welcome back to The Correct Opinion, y'all. Y'all know what it is when I'm talking like this. I get hyped. I get really hyped talking about Foundation. Now, let me put some stuff up on the screen for y'all, because Foundation had, like, you guys already saw the deep dives, right? Everybody put your hands up in the comments if you saw the deep dives. I put up deep dives for season 3, episodes 1 and episodes 2. If you haven't done your homework, if you're not caught up, let me know if you need a refresher on or what's going on. Otherwise, I'm gonna jump right in. I got time today, y'all. I got time. Let me see what you guys are saying. What are y'all saying? I got a hands up. You're caught up. Gothic chick is caught up. Appreciate that. That's it? Nobody else? Oh man. All right. So let me just give y'all a good surface level understanding of what Foundation is about. I did put up like a little 15-minute video explaining everything that happens in season 1 of Foundation. I'm going to say this to all of you, and I will admit it. Season 1 can be hard. There are segments of the story that drag out a little slower than I would like. Oh, now E-Man want to call? Bro, do you want to join the live? Like, if you guys could see this, he calls me now. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the White House responded. Yes, I'm absolutely talking about it.
Oh boy. Anyway, let me call you back. All right. This dude. Oh, okay. I did put up like a 15-minute breakdown. Season 1 can be a little hard. There are things that are important. Season 2 is amazing. Season 2 is some of the greatest television out there, period. Essentially, the story is about a man who discovers a scientific mathematical equation that can predict mass population events to an infinite degree of accuracy. So it's not quite a crystal ball that predicts the future because he can't really see what you're going to eat for breakfast tomorrow, but he can say, hey, this is when that empire is going to fall, right? That whole group that was in charge, they're not going to be in charge forever. This is when they're going to fall. It's inevitable. And he's looking at history and making a mathematical formula that predicts it based off of what's happened before. This is just a small slither of the story. There's a person who's been ruling this galaxy for hundreds of years by the name of Cleon. How's he been doing it for hundreds of years? He clones himself. He clones himself. He clones himself. And each clone raises his successor. And that's how he thrives. Now, Foundation Season 1 sets up a lot of details here, and I'm giving you an extremely surface level. That's like saying From is about monsters that come out at night. Yeah, but there's a lot more to it, bro. Foundation has this for you. If you're one of my people who like that level of thinking, that level of mystery, that level of, oh man, we got to work together to solve it, it's not horror, it is Foundation. If you like Star Wars, if you like Dune, this is the inspiration for those guys. Foundation's going to have a lot of similarities to Star Trek, Star Wars, Dune. You're going to see where things were borrowed from this story and applied there, and you're going to see it in incredible applications. Now, Foundation Season 3 picks up 152 years after this Season 2 finale. Let me put this up on the screen for y'all. Where did I... Oh, I'm presenting something else. That's... Nope, no. Not inviting a guest. Stop. And then share that. So the first Foundation in Season 3 is thriving. The Empire, they're on the ropes. And Calgon just got a new warlord with mind control powers and a side of daddy issues. That's this dude called the Mule. Let me put this up here for y'all properly. Him. That's the Mule. So we have so much that has happened. And for those of you who may not remember, I refer to the two Harrys distinctly. Harry White, the one that's running around with Gale in the white shirt. Harry Black, the one that's chilling in the vault. Gale is on a mission to stop the Mule and maybe break up with Destiny. The Mule here, he enters Season 3 like a boss. He's mind-jacking enemies, giving speeches, and plotting galactic domination like it's full-time, full-court press. Fourth quarter, Game 6. Empire, where's my Empire? Empire. I'm gonna run through my images. Oh, did I pick the wrong folder? Maybe. But you guys don't mind, right? I have so many things, so many screenshots. There we go. Empire. The Cleons are cracked. We have a huge difference from where we saw our galactic trios from Season 2. Brother Day, he's vibing, doing drugs, drinking, and gambling while the galaxy burns. Dusk and Dawn are basically running the show, or trying to, with Demerzel, the robot, helping them out. So if you guys saw episode 1, I'm not going to break it down again. Go ahead, absolutely check down the deep dive, but I will let you guys know what stood out to me in episode 1. In episode 1, we meet the Mule. The Mule, we already saw, is played by Pylu Asbæk, aka Euron Greyjoy from Game of Thrones, and it's instantly clear this man is not playing. He's not playing. Let me put him back on the screen for us. we see the effects of 152 years of foundation. There's religion, there's rebellion, and that Harry cult is now just management. Then we have the mule running around, charismatic, terrifying, and somehow charmingly petty. This dude is really, really petty. Oh man. And Dr. Selden in the vault, he spooked because something he didn't really predict is coming is the mule. The only ones who know about the mule are the second foundation and Gale. So that stood out to me in the opening. Ah, no wonder I'm all over the place. I'm in the wrong folder. There we go. So did y'all catch that mule mind trick? Like if he looked at me like that, I'd probably join his book club. Like I thought it was kind of interesting that they kind of explained why the mule is more powerful than most of the mentalics. One of the things I kept grilling creator David Goyer about was whether or not the mule was just a further incarnation of Tellum Bond, aka Pa R. He said it's not, but it's hard to determine whether or not how accurate that is. The mule is here. He is dangerous. He's wildly vindictive, and he's wildly different than everything we've seen before. He starts pulling off power plays, right? He does this little weird pillow talk to jump gate hijacking like it's a casual Thursday. We see so much happening between this character in episodes 1, 2. Have you guys seen 3 yet? No, you guys haven't seen 3 yet. Let me not say what happens in 3, because 3 is tonight, right? So tonight you're going to be able to check out the deep dive live. It's going to go live, I think, at midnight. But what you've seen in, I got to make sure I don't slip up. Oh, okay. Oh, I haven't seen episode 4. I have seen episode 3. I haven't seen episode 4 yet. But what we have seen of the mule in the first 2 episodes is wild. First, he has a whole army off themselves. Then he goes into the dude's house and starts playing with his kid. Like, yo, there's very few disrespectful things that you can do to me. Like, you're going to disrespect me. You're going to take my jewelry. You're going to rob me. But then you're going to go in my house and take my place with my family? Just be like, come on, call me dad. Like, what? Put your feet up in my couch? Leave soda cans on the table? Like, what are we doing here? Like, the mule is wildly vindictive. That creepy, calm conversation. Ooh. You guys haven't seen that yet. He has a creepy, calm conversation with the general before he offed himself. And that is a trait that I really, really appreciate that Pylu is bringing to the role. Now, one of the things that a lot of people are still talking about online is the fact that this role was recast. Yes, it was recast. We've got a new person playing it. And there's some people who wonder if it would have been better served to have kept the original actor. I'm going to say this. There are things that we will see where it feels more apparent why we're getting this interpretation of the mule than what we saw in season 2. I'm not saying that the other actor couldn't have done it, but the circumstances in which we find the character, Pylo's doing really, really well, and I give him a lot of credit for his work. But I'm curious what you guys think about the actor, the change in the mule, if you guys are with this new actor taking on the role, or were you guys really looking forward to the bald version of Mule that just seemed like a walking nightmare? Yeah, can't talk about that. We can talk about the Mallows. So, I'm sorry, I'm still eating. We can talk about the Mallows. So, I also like how we meet Tauren and Beta Mallow, who are descendants of Hober Mallow and Brother Constance coupling in season 2. No images here. Let's bring them up. Now, for those of you who don't remember who's Hober Mallow, because I know these names can get a little confusing, right? They can get like, oh man, who are all these people that happened, season 2 years ago? I can't remember. This was Hober Mallow. Remember him? He was like basically the Han Solo of season 2. This is Hober Mallow, and you guys might remember that he had a moment where he got intimate with Brother Constant, which is not a man, it's a woman, in season 2. And what we're seeing in season 3 are their descendants, and apparently they were very, very fertile. I'm sorry. So Beta and Torin, here we go. You guys remember these two. Right? You guys remember these two. They're sunbathing and stuff, and it's like they seem so out of place from something that we would normally see in Foundation. But these are Hober and Brother Constant's descendants. I have another one. There might be more, actually, because they actually are the traders. Mm. Mm. But these are their descendants, and we're going to see some really interesting developments from these characters as they move forward. They're going to do more than just sip cocktails, right? Their story just might become a whole subplot, so stay tuned. So keep an eye out for them. They're doing their thing. And again, let me know in the comments what you guys think about the Mule, because I think Pylu, as big as the Mule, I think he's eaten, right? This man chews scenery like it owes him money. It's layered, it's dangerous, and it's weirdly seductive. So I'm curious what you guys think. I can't talk about that. I want to give props to the production design. Now, one of the things that I always talk about with Foundation is just how beautiful this show is. Now, you'll see it from the design of ships to the design of the interiors to the buildings to the technology. Everything has a very unique, highly polished look. It almost feels like what Star Trek always wanted to be with their designs. And I really love how this show does so many things with giving us glimpses of how technology could evolve. I think one of my favorite things was years ago was seeing Minority Report for the first time. And the first time seeing Tom Cruise just like interact with computers and just like use his hands. And then we actually move towards that in the future. All the things that were in that movie slowly becoming a reality. It's so surreal but cool to actually see that visualized. So I look at Foundation and I look at like little things of the technology. Like I bet we're going to have TVs that are always high def projections. If not, your wall is the screen and you'll interact with it with your hands. I think this is stuff that we're going to get to. And I give so much props to the production design team for doing such a flawless job. I think in the notes we learn, for those of you who don't know, I get so much details about this show. So they filmed in 5 cities in Poland and in Spain, and it shows, right? Like they film everywhere for this show. So one of my favorite things is that they globetrot like crazy for this show, and I'm here for it. I want to just highlight these characters. They're very, very important to the show. They're going to be very, very important to the Mule, as well as this guy here. Now, I have theories about him. I got so many theories about him. We see him acting out. We see him not acting out. We see him acting independently. He's supposed to be working with the mayor. He doesn't really listen to the mayor. He has a sense of danger and a sense of responsibility that supersedes his loyalty to the Foundation. This character named Pritchard is important. We're going to pay attention to him. As we know with Foundation, no character gets wasted. You might think people are just, one-off backgrounds, even if they're just mentioned in passing. No, this is just a seed planted that's going to grow later. So pay attention to my man here. He is important. I have a theory about him. It's in the deep dive for tonight. So if you guys haven't checked it out yet, go ahead. It's on the channel. Make sure you turn on your notifications because I have a theory about him that I think people. Nah, I don't know what people are gonna think, but I definitely want your thoughts. Right, like this one might cook. Uh, who else we got up in here? We had Pritchard. We talked about Pilo. We talked about the Mule. We didn't really talk about Gale and the Harrys yet, or the Prime Radiant. I did put my theory out there. Thank you guys for supporting that video. I did put my theory video out about how I think that there is actually a Cold War occurring between Demerzel and Calais that feels like it's going to grow into a larger story later. One of the things I keep noticing is the reoccurrence and reappearance of Calais. The fact that she's a recurring character throughout the seasons, but only pops up here and there. It's kind of like Morgan in The Walking Dead. It's like, I know this is going to pay off later. I just need to continue to follow this thread. But I think it's going to give us a more satisfying payoff than even those other projects. Monster Playhouse. I love this show. Yo, welcome to the club. We all love this show right here. I still think is the best sci-fi show on TV. I think it trumps everything out there. Period. The writing is so beautiful. The acting is on point. The sets are on point. The music. Bear McCreary. I didn't even know. Shout out to Vince for putting me on the Bear McCreary because I didn't understand who this person was, but I knew his work. And then once I started seeing the stuff that he worked on, I was like, I like all the music that this dude works on. Bear McCreary. But yeah, I did want to give that quick little kind of catch up on Foundation. Oh my goodness, we didn't talk about the new Brother Day. Can't move on, can I? I can't move on. What do y'all think about the new Brother Day? Because like after season 1 and 2, I kind of had a idea of what I think I expected from Brother Day. He's always going to be this like Napoleon, this tyrant, this warlord. And then season 3, basically the dude walks in, right, with a white Russian. I think Lee Pace is giving us performances on par with Jonathan Majors as Kang. And I mean that in the highest compliment possible. The fact that he's able to give us so many unique, distinct variations of the same person and make them all, I don't want to say likable, but acceptable, right? Like I get this dude. I understand him. This Brother Day who's just like chilling, vaping all day, hanging out with his little girlfriend Song, playing with a ferret, like, not really doing responsibilities today. Like, I'm okay. I'm okay with him. What are you saying? He's tied to Demerzel. Yes, but I think it's more than that. I think it's more than just being tired of Demerzel. So, without spoiling what happens in the next episode, let's look back. In season 2, we had the Cleons thinking they were in charge. They thought they were the ones that were ruling in season 2, right? Brother Day, Brother Dawn, Brother Dusk. They didn't understand what was right in front of their faces with Demerzel and Cleon the First. They didn't understand the manipulation and the long game that was occurring. And then the season ended with all of those Cleons getting murked. Right? Brother Day got murked by what's his name? Not Holber. Well, Holber was there, but Bel Rios. Bel Rios was the one that took out that brother Day. Brother Dawn ran away with Queen Sareth. Actually, he didn't get murked. He just ran away. And we don't know what happened to him. We don't know if he married Queen Sareth. We don't know if he has descendants. He just ran away, and the show planted that seed for us to think about. Brother Dusk, Demerzel murked Brother Dusk because he found out her secret. He found out that she was actually obedient to Cleon the First and not to the Cleon clones. Think about how that ended with her decanting brand new Cleons, but also getting a hold of the Prime Radiant. Now, in season 3, we've already seen that Demerzel she's in there. She is in the Prime Radiant. She is studying psychohistory often. We see that she is looking at the future and she's concerned about what is coming. This is a different Demerzel. Now, Demerzel, we learned in episode 1 that she has like 3 rules that she has to follow. She has to obey what humans say. She can't she has to like protect herself, and she can't harm humans. Like, she has like those 3 rules. But then Cleon added a new rule that she has to also preserve the Cleonic dynasty as well as preserving herself. So she's actually imprisoned in a way as well. She is aware how overwhelming that programming is. It's the programming that forced her to take out Brother Dawn in season 1, and it forced her to take out Brother Dusk in season 2. So she is capable of murking Cleons. Plus, she now has the Prime Radiant. And the Cleons know about it. They look at the psychohistory too. She raises each Cleon from birth. How does that impact how does the events of season 2 impact the way that she raises Cleons? Now, then expand that to 152 years. You've got a very, very, very different thinking and a different perspective kind of Demerzel than we had in season 2. One thing I pointed out in my episode 1 deep dive, and I won't go too crazy into stuff that you guys have probably already seen, but one of the things that stood out to me was that, let me see if I could pull it up quickly. It would be nice if I could, but I don't think I can. Episode 1, screenshots, recap shots. As organized as this stuff is, you think I would find it faster, right? Here we go. So one thing I noticed about this Demerzel that's very different than what I remember from the other Demerzels, and maybe you guys, I'm sorry, her other appearances, there's only one Demerzel, is that she's now rocking one of these jewelry shoulder joints that we typically only see the Cleons wear. Now, I don't remember her wearing it in season 1. I could be wrong. She definitely didn't have it on in season 2, but she's definitely rocking it now in season 3. The fact that she's, and again, this is a type of jewelry or ornament that we only see on the royalty of this universe. She's wearing it. And if she's wearing raising the Cleons, that would they really question it? They're like, oh, she always wears that. I guess it's for her and us. Like, this is what we're getting now with this Demerzel. She's different. She sees things differently. She knows the future is coming, and she knows her place in this dynasty. So I'm curious what you all think about that. He's transformed into Emperor Tiberius beyond caring about goals and self-indulgent. Yes, but take into consideration being raised by a Demerzel who now thinks of herself as royalty, or has a royal, like she not she thinks of herself as royalty, but she views herself higher than she used to, and she can see the future. How does that affect not just how she raises the Cleons, but what they receive? You know, every kid takes things differently, right? Why is this Cleon so different than the dusk and the dawn? Those are the questions I want you to ask. Oh, I don't want to forget to talk about that other stuff. I do want to talk about some new stuff later. I'm going to talk about um the Hulkster. I'm going to talk about all the other passings of the week. I'm going to like Malcolm Jamal Warner. I want to talk about those other things as well. So, just give you guys a heads up of what's coming after this. Um what are you saying? I like him. A new day, good vibes only. Yeah, good vibes only. And I like that, but again, I can't help but wonder, how did he get this way? Do you think Demerzel went after Dawn and his wife? I don't. So that was an interesting little exchange they had at the in the end of season 2, when they're trying to rationalize with her why it would be better to allow them to go than for them to try to stop them. And I think that they made a compelling argument to her about how it would actually have a negative impact on the Cleonic dynasty if she tried to destroy that other Dawn that ran away. I think that they actually got through to her. I'm not 100% sure, but that's been my theory, mainly just because of her demeanor at the end of that. Like, when she has to do something, she'll stop everything and go do it. In season 2, when Brother Day was having his indulgence with Bel Rios and Hober Mallow, she let him know, you are not my only priority, and dipped on him. Like, imagine if she had been there, that whole thing could have went different. Like, if when he was getting his butt whooped, she would have stopped that. She would have whooped butt, right? Belle would have never had a chance. But she's got other priorities and she's got backups. So I think she got through to them. They got through to them. He didn't add he changed it, replaced humanity with himself slash empire. Uh I didn't even notice the collar is given robot parts. It is distinct from the collars that are worn by the Cleons. It is very different. Let me pull one up from the Cleon. I wish I could pull them up side by side. Maybe I could just share my whole window. What do I have on this window? Maybe if I just move all my sensitive stuff, and if you guys don't judge me for having Roblox installed, we can be friends. I have kids, man. I have kids. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Which screen is this? This. There we go. So, yeah, he's got a collar too, but his collar is absolutely different than Demerzel's. When we see Demerzel's collar, I agree with you. It's a lot more robotic looking. It's got this different design, while theirs has just like a bunch of frills going around the neck. But yeah, she got her a chain too now. She's Rockefeller. she, she got her a Rockefeller chain. But yeah, there's been a lot of change with Demerzel since season 2 and 1 and the evolution of the Cleons. Um, now the difference between this dawn and this dusk is a little bit more, I think, subtle. I noticed that this dusk isn't is with the smoke. Like, if smoke is coming, he's ready for it, as opposed to the other Cleon, Dusk, who was like, I think we learned in season 2, he admitted that he let Demerzel handle a lot more of the conflict than getting involved himself. He was more of a, he was more of a socializing person than anything. Um, but there are distinct differences between this brother Day and that brother Dusk than what we saw in previous seasons that I really appreciate. Um, but let me think. Was there anything else I wanted to chat about with Foundation? Now, I still don't know this woman's name. If somebody could tell me her name, that would be a big help. But this whole thing where Demerzel took on a confidant to talk to is it's I'm still trying to get used to the idea of a robot having emotions like that. Like, yo, I just gotta unload on somebody. I need some therapy, girl. Can you help me out? Can you be my ear? Like, I'm still getting used to that. But I never caught this girl's name. I don't think I had the subtitles when I first saw the episode, so I never really caught her name. But I did think that entire scene was really cool. Seeing the golden apple, knowing that this tree here is the spot where the robots war, I guess, ended, um, and the last machines were put down, makes me wonder if there's robots under the ground. Demerzel having a prime radiant and showing it to people, like this, everything about this was cool to me. Let me think. Is there anything else? This dude with his camel, the mule. I can't say too much because episode 3 comes out tonight, and I don't want to slip. I don't want to slip. Honestly, I don't want to slip. But let me know what you guys think of this Foundation show so far. Uh, Definitely, if you're gonna watch episode 3, come back for the deep dive later tonight. It has some interesting observations of mine and some theories that I definitely want you guys to chime in on. What else did I want to talk about? I had a couple other things. We could come back to Foundation. I think we've been talking about it for a solid 40 minutes now. But we could definitely come back to it in a few moments if you guys want. But I did have a couple things I did want to talk about. That I don't know, man. This one's rough. This one's rough for me. So let me just pull it up, right? Let me just bring it on over. We'll put this away. This stuff is complicated, man. Hulk Hogan. This one has been tough. So I saw the news. I saw that Hogan was trending online earlier, and I immediately went to go see what was it about because I don't like when I see just a person's name trending, right? It doesn't feel good because you never know why. And then we see that it is Hulk Hogan who passed away. He passed away at 71 years old. Um, and I can't help but feel mixed feelings about his passing. Um, so I want to say this. I do mourn the character that we saw on WWF Hulk Hogan. All right, that character, man, yo, that in the 80s, that character made me believe America was the good guys. Like we were take your vitamins, say your prayers. We're the real American heroes. Like Hulk Hogan in the 80s really had me believing America was the good guys in every situation. Everybody wanted our help. We were loved everywhere we went because the way they accepted Hulk Hogan was the way they looked at America. And that's what I thought. And I loved Hulk Hogan for years. He was my hero in wrestling for years. And then things got complicated, right? Because Hulk, oh man. So, how many of you guys know about the Hulk Hogan rant? Do you guys know about the Hulk Hogan rant? Like what happened? Let me help. Right? So this came out a while ago. This is fairly old news, but Hulk Hogan was fired after a race outburst was caught on tape. He went on a huge rant, dropping the N word freely in a very, very negative sense. The video is out there. I'm not going to play the video because it it broke my heart when I saw it. And I don't need that on this platform. The video's out there, but he did here, right? You can see it. Let's zoom in. Let's just see some of what he said. Can you get there you go. You can see that. I'm not going to read it cuz if I read it then I might get in trouble. But you can read it. You can read it. And it's not like, oh, people are, just taking something he said on the side. It's on tape the way he said it, the way he meant it, and it broke my heart. And he ended up finding a way to recover from that, get rehired by wrestling, sue the people who released his state what he said, and yeah. So I have mixed feelings about the passing of the Hulkster because on one hand, he was very important to my childhood and my formative years, and on another hand, it's hard for me to overlook the way he views black people specifically. And he singled out black people. So it's just like I can't help but, you know, feel that. I feel that because he's like, no, you specifically. Like, Hulk. And I have to have integrity. I have to have a line, right? Like, I can't just. I don't know, man. Yes, critical thinker. Yes, absolutely. He proved that we should not view celebrities as role models. 100%. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think of Hulk Hogan. Do you have a favorite Hogan moment? What do you think about his legacy? Like, remember, not only was he in wrestling, my man was Thunder in Paradise, right? He fought he's had movies, Real American Hero, reality TV, memes, ripping shirts open. Let me tell you something, brother. What is the legacy of Hulk Hogan to you? Because I might just need some help processing all of this. I'm curious if it's just me who feels conflicted about it, or are you just one of those who it didn't really change your views on him. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. But yeah, that was the Hulkster. Oh, I keep forgetting I could put the comments on screen. My bad, y'all. New comments from now on. They're gonna in the chat. They're gonna show up on screen. Apologies about that. What else did I want to talk about tonight? Oh man, so this one ain't no confliction about. Ain't no conflict. This hurt. This just hurt. The passing of Malcolm Jamal Warner. Oh man, like, have you guys seen the internet this week? The outpouring of love for Malcolm Jamal Warner. I know if you guys have been following me on Instagram, if you've been seeing my stories, you guys already know that, like, I'm all over. What is this? Like, now I just switched over to Instagram and I got a little distracted because my man David Goyer just be posting the wildest, coolest stuff about Foundation. Oh man, I'm sorry. It's like a little ADHD there, but I just had, since we were talking Foundation, it just came up. They listen. But if you guys have been following my Instagram, if you guys see my stories, you guys have been seeing what I've been posting a lot of lately. some of the things that I keep seeing are just outstanding outbursts of love. This one, you know, this was a dude who we saw in the 80s on the Cosby Show. We saw him in television. We grew up with him in so many different areas. Every single celebrity that I saw talk about him ever said something positive. Like, yo, Malcolm though, he's good. He's that dude. I have nothing but good stories about him. And I've just been soaking up all the stories that have been shared online, and it really is hard. So I want to share something with y'all, because I don't know if this is something that everyone feels, or if this is just just a personal experience. Sometimes I presume that people have comparable experiences that I did growing up. But one of the things that I know was a challenge for me growing up was having positive male figures in my life, right? Like, you got your dad, you got your brother, but sometimes some of our don't live with us, our dads. Sometimes our brothers are only going through challenges as well. And a lot of people look to television to fill that void. So you'll see a lot of people, especially my age, you know, born in the 80s, who will say they have a unhealthy love for the TV dad that we got from Uncle Phil. We have an obscene love with Carl Winslow, and those particular dads stood out. But Theo Huxtable, if those were our dads, this was our brother. Like, he was there. And I can't tell you how many life lessons I learned from television, whether it was Uncle Phil going to the pool hall. You know, Will lost the money at the pool hall, but he didn't immediately, you know, get on him. He went to the pool hall. He beat the pool shark. He won back the money, and then he taught Will a lesson. You know, he was a complete package. And if this man was that as a brother, and I've been loving all of the outpouring of love and support. Everybody's favorite moment of him coming up on screen and in television. I almost forgot about Malcolm and Eddie. I didn't even remember Malcolm and Eddie, the TV show, but I watched it. I watched Malcolm and Eddie, but I almost forgot about it. Y'all remember when he was on Fresh Prince? You remember when the Cosbys came to like, worlds collide. Like, this was mind blowing to us. We didn't have an MCU in the 80s, but we had this in television. People were crossing over. This is one thing that I really love. Let me see if I could find it. Oh, with Omar. That time Curtis.
There you are. I guess you know what I want. I hope you want me to get 4 of my friends and we'll shoot a little hoop. Come here. Come here! Not you, him!
Not that last time. He meant that about Hogan.
Randall says you've been ignoring him. You asked me to leave him alone. I didn't say leave him alone. I said don't bother him. Curtis, what do you want from me, man? I want you to work with my brother. How? Every time he feels there's a problem, he comes running to you. Because he knows you're going to come up here and back him up every time. Every time. But you're not doing him any favors, Curtis. I mean, he's not going to listen to any of us if he doesn't have to. And with you running interference, he doesn't have to. Well, tell me what's best for my brother. I'm just trying to do my job, all right? Yeah? Try harder, because you don't seem to be too good at it. Curtis, do you care about your brother? I mean, do you really care? What you think I'm here for, man, the buffet? Then don't tell me how to do my job. Yeah.
Yo.
You heard me, man. I said, don't tell me how to do my job. I'm up here trying to make a difference in these kids' lives. Can't you see that? Look, man, look at these shining faces. What do you think? Huh? I tell you what, you don't like the way I do my job?
You know, much to our dismay, they put Here and Now on Saturday night.
Man, so it was moments like that, man, where you got the big brother treatment from Malcolm Jamal Warner. Like, and the reason I say that is because that action of standing up for himself is a direct lesson that the Cosby Show, Bill Cosby, the character, instilled on him. Like, don't be afraid. Stand up for yourself and stand 10 toes in it when you're right. And that kind of life lesson is not easily delivered in a way that it's received the way that it's meant to. And he nailed it. He nailed it. He nailed getting through to difficult people. Yo, I want you guys to one day look up the rap he did. He has a nice little rap. And people are posting pictures like this, him, Ozzy Osbourne, and Hulk Hogan in heaven. We lost a lot this week. There was another musician that passed away this week. It's been a rough week, man. It's been a rough week, but I'm curious. I just want to give some love to Malcolm Jamal Warner. I'm not going to dwell on this anymore. This one still hurts, but yeah, I want to give my shout out, love, support to the family out there, Malcolm Jamal Warner. He's gonna be missed, man. He's gonna be missed. What else I got? Oh, no. That's for way later. What is this? Oh, yeah, this one. So there's been some news. Oh, wait, hold on. The spin-off show Here and Now is geared from that rec center position. Look, see? This is what I'm talking about. I would have never known that, man. I would have never known that. Man, Here and Now. I would have never known that, but we all have our experiences. With this show. Now I'm going to Google it. I don't think I could find it. Yeah, I'm not gonna find it, but yeah, man. All right, getting back to it, Mr. Terrific. So let me switch gears. Let me switch to something positive. How many of y'all saw that Superman movie? Raise your hands. How many of y'all saw the Superman movie? Because I loved the Superman movie. I think I ended up giving it like I think I gave it like 9. I might have gave it like a really high score on in my review. And I think I really, like, I saw it twice. I saw it once in IMAX and once in Dolby. Enjoyed both viewings. And one of the standouts, of course, that people keep talking about is Mr. Terrific. He had such great moments in this movie, to the point where the chatter is starting to inspire the potential talk for a HBO Max series. Now, where this is coming from is the fact that people are, well, I think it was Daniel RPK. He caught the fact that there was a filing for a trademark for Mr. Terrific. Now, this is wild to me, that fact that we're a month after, almost like 3 weeks after the movie is released, and now they trademark Mr. Like, they didn't trademark it before. I had a chance. I'm about to start. Can I trademark Metamorpho? It's a race. Anyway, I love that, one, you guys are all over the internet watching trademark filings. 2, that you guys are seeing this. Now, one of the things that people are wondering is who else might get a spinoff. One of the things that we heard was that the character Jimmy Olsen might get a spinoff, right? They're considering a spinoff for Skylar Gazando's portrayal of Jimmy Olsen. I don't know what that show would look like. I think I'm here for it though. I'm okay with that. Give him a show. Let me see the Daily Planet. Let him interact with like Kat and Perry and all the other people there because Trevor, I think it's Steve Trevor, not Trevor. So the other dude, we didn't get enough of them. They were really good in the movie, and I kind of thought that they were really accurate to what I wanted from them. I would be okay with more. So there is news that Mr. Terrific is getting a spinoff. Maybe we'll see what happens. But for now, they're starting with the trademark. If things continue going well for the DCU, sky is the limit. But I can't help but wonder who else from Superman's world deserves a series. Do we need a Hawk Girl series? We already know the Lanterns are coming and that we're going to see Guy Gardner return in that series. Who else? Metamorpho? Nah, you know what I would really like? I was talking to E-Man about this. You guys see that I talk to this dude a lot. Here's what I really hope happens. We already have Mr. Terrific. We already have Metamorpho. We already see that the world likes the idea of a family of heroes, right? So why not give us the Terrifics? Now, for those of you who don't know, the Terrifics is a DC Universe superhero team led by Mr. Terrific, alongside Metamorpho, joined by Plastic Man, and who's this? Who's this other girl? I forgot who she is. I should remember her, right? It is Phantom Girl. So for those of you who are saying, man, this kind of looks like the Terrifics, Mr. Terrific, Mr. Fantastic. Are they ripping off the Fantastic? Yes. DC and Marvel do this to each other all the time. They'll just literally steal the other company's concept and apply it to those characters. So yeah, DC has kind of their own version of the Fantastic Four. If they decided to do a Mr. Terrific show, I would love for it to be about the Terrifics. There are some really, really cool stories with these characters doing exactly, what we saw the Fantastic Four doing. Well, you guys didn't see it yet, right? It came out today. But if you go online, I think the first 5 minutes of the Fantastic Four are out there, and you can see that they have a little montage of what the Fantastic Four has been up to. These guys do the same exact thing. They have those kind of adventures, and I would be here for it, especially with Eddie Gathegi as Mr. Terrific, a more free Metamorpho without the risk of his son being held hostage. I would love to see Plastic Man, because Plastic Man is like low-key one of the most dangerous superheroes out there, right? The Flash, Green Lantern, Plastic Man. Those are like the three most dangerous superheroes in the DCU. More so than Superman. Way more dangerous than Superman. Plastic Man is a whole problem. Phantom Girl, I don't know. I know she could go invisible. I think she can access the Phantom Zone. I think she can make herself intangible and things can pass through her, kind of like Kitty Pryde. She's an outlier there for me. I want you guys to see Fantastic Four to talk to me about, so we could talk about that. But once you guys get a chance to see Fantastic Four, I think we could come back and have this conversation about the Terrifics. I would like to see the Engineer's backstory, Markeisha says. I think I would like that too. The Engineer, she was definitely a villain, but it felt like she had a motivation that I just didn't know. And I'm curious what her motivation was, and I would be here for learning more about her backstory. And I want to give a credit and shout out to DC real quick, because one thing that they do really well, they showcase their villains. And they deliver their villains in ways that I love in a lot of their projects. I can't always say that with Marvel. right? So when I look at the Penguin, when I look at the villains in the DCU movie, when I look at the Batman movie with Robert Pattinson, the villains are cooking. They're cooking with these villains. So I want to see more. And I say they do it well because it's something like, Sony's been trying to do that for years. They've been trying to crack the code of making projects with the villains that we care about. I don't care about Venom. I don't care about Craven. I don't care about Morbius. The movies were fine. Craven was fine. Venom wasn't as bad as people said it was, but it wasn't as good as it should have been. But the Penguin was better than it had any business being. And this is why I'm with the idea of getting us an engineer backstory. I'm with you, Markeisha. The Fantastic Four movie was good. You saw it? Yo, Markeisha don't play, yo. Markeisha don't play. She be outside. She be outside. She be outside. The movie just came out today. I think they had early previews yesterday. But it just came out today. But yeah, Fantastic Four movie was good. I'll give like my opinion on it a little bit later. I was talking to E-Man about this earlier. Like, I've done a couple reviews with you guys on Thursdays, but we can't really engage with it about it because you guys haven't seen it, and then it just ends up being me recording something for later. I like when we could talk to each other. So I think I'm going to really hold off on my full review of Fantastic Four until you guys get a chance to see it. Maybe I'll talk about it with the Blurds tomorrow. Maybe I'll wait till next Thursday. But I definitely want to talk about it with you. I'll give you guys my reaction, but we'll go into a full-on review after you guys have had a chance to see it. But that's what we got for the Terrifics. But yeah, who else from Superman's world deserves a series? Who else would you like to see? They said Jimmy Olsen. They said Mr. Terrific. We got the Lanterns coming back. Who else should get their own series? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm gonna do something I haven't done in a long time because I didn't want to in a long time. But after watching, Captain America, Brave New World, after watching Thunderbolts, after watching Ironheart, after watching Fantastic Four, I was like, I think I care about Marvel again. We gotta talk about Marvel, y'all. We got to talk about Marvel. And let me get into this a little bit. Because first I got to get this out my system, right? Because I love to hold Marvel accountable for when they mess up. I do. And I like to kind of like poke at the bear a little bit when it comes to like things that just sound surprising. So this news surprised the mess out of me. It absolutely surprised the mess out of me. What are you saying, Smoke? You can't hear me? You can hear me, right? I don't say Smoke. Anyway, I think you guys can hear me. If you can't hear me, let me know. But Avengers Doomsday script is still unfinished. 3 months into the production. What? Still no script? Marvel is filming $1 billion movie without a finished script. And I like this is surprising to me. So it's not surprising to me that they do rewrites on the fly. I strongly encourage all of you to go to Disney Plus. They have this like making of the movie kind of thing. I forget what it's called. It's like they have these specials that they do for their series, and they did one for Multiverse of Madness, and you can see a really revealing look at how Marvel operates differently than other studios. Like they have these tablets that they bring to set that does pre-visualization and effects on the fly. If you want to show a dragon, the dragon is there immediately, and then they send it to the VFX houses to improve it. They also have the writer on the set, so they kept showing like Michael Waldron running around from scene to scene to scene to scene to scene to scene, and then like literally sitting down with a laptop in a corner rewriting the scene as they're filming. And that surprises the hell out of me. It blows my mind. It took months for me to convince E-Man to finally go and look at this special. If you have time, it's like 20 minutes long. It is an eye opener as to how Marvel has been producing their films. I'm like, what? first, I've been blogging and writing about movies since, I don't know, 2011. I have never ever heard of not one, not two, but several projects in succession where the writer is standing next to the director, writing the scene, and then handing it out to the team to do it. And then coming back 3 months before the movie comes out to reshoot maybe half the movie. This is Marvel's production style. They make movies differently. It's just eye-opening. I don't know what to think of it. I don't know what to think about it. I go through this with, I wish you guys could hear the conversations with me and E-Man. He's going to go live later tonight. He'll be live at, we'll be done by then. And after you guys finish this, you can go to his live. But I wish you guys could hear the conversations he and I have about this, because we keep going back and forth about whether this is creative chaos, where it's like, this is just a chaos of creativity, right? We're artists, we throw stuff at the wall, and then we come out and we deliver a masterpiece. Maybe that's that. Or is it just pure mismanagement? Because look at Quantum Mania. Look at Multiverse of Madness. Multiverse of Madness, yeah, it did good in theaters. Yeah, people kind of accepted it as a decent movie. I don't ever want to see that movie again. If I never see it again, I will be okay. I never feel like, man, I would love to see that one again. Superman, I want to see it again. Fantastic Four, I'll see it again. Deadpool and Wolverine, got a couple moments I want to see again. Ant-Man? Nah. Kang was the best part of the movie. Everything else dragged. Multiverse of Madness? I was so hyped to see the Doctor Strange versus Doctor Strange, and they made me not care. I was so hyped to see the Illuminati, and they made me not care about them anymore. Matter of fact, I was so hyped to see John Krasinski's Mr. Fantastic. And if you watch that movie, if you read what happened behind the scenes, Kevin Feige personally said, hey, you know what would be funny? These guys on the internet would love to have John. They've been begging, please make a movie with John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic. How about we just put him in here to make them happy and then kill him in the most painful way possible? He thought it was funny. When this movie started, Avengers Doomsday, Kevin Feige immediately flew out to London with the Russos, and he had parked his ass on the set because he needs this movie to do well. He needs Avengers Doomsday to do Infinity War numbers and reception and critical reaction. He needs that. So he parked his ass there. So the fact that we're 3 months in, and I don't think he's there anymore. I think he went back to LA to help promote the Fantastic Four release, but they don't have a script yet. And you're paying Robert Downey. My man is not cheap. Robert Downey Jr. is not cheap. If you guys ever see the deal he got, bring my 50-person entourage and feed everybody and give everybody a stipend and give me a private plane and give me a compound of my own, not a trailer, a compound of my own. And pay for all my expenses for the next 2 years, plus give me $50 million, plus I want profit sharing. Robert Downey Jr. is not a cheap person to just park in London. So the fact that the movie is 3 months in and there's no unfinished script is just surprising. I don't know if this is just, again, creative chaos. This is the process. This is how it works. I am just shocked. I had to get it out my system. But I did want to talk a little bit about Marvel. That was one of the things I'm excited for to talk is Avengers Doomsday. If you guys ever wonder if I'm a Doomsday fan, and you guys probably notice I do this sometimes with the blurs, we'll be like, oh, Anthony likes From, and I'll just whip out the bell out of nowhere. Like, yeah, I'm hardcore into From. I want you guys to know. Look at this. It's like a cartoon. This is how much of a Dr. Doom fan I am. And if you're wondering, Anthony, you have a Dr. Doom mask? No, I have a custom made, 3D printed, designed Dr. Doom mask because that's how much of a Dr. Doom fan I am. And this is not just any Dr. Doom. This is God King Doom from Secret Wars, my favorite Doom. I am a Doctor Doom fan. I am a I'm Secret Wars fan. I am hardcore about this. Like Elon used to say, I'm deep. not MAGA, but deep Marvel. Like, I just keep stuff. Look, I keep a Captain America shield. I got toys up here. I don't know if you guys ever noticed this little red thing here. That's a Spider-Man. Like, I just stay ready so I don't have to get ready. Let me see what you guys are saying. Green Lantern show would be cool, but sound effects would cost a grip. The Green Lantern show is official. It's already been filmed. Aaron Pierre is going to be our Jon Stewart. We have Kyle Chandler as our Hal Jordan. Yeah, like, this is a thing. You didn't know? I'm sorry. I'm not trying to make fun of you, Mike. But yeah, no, this is a thing. The TV show's already coming out. They already filmed. Oh man, my whole mic came out. They already finished filming the show. I think they're doing post-production now. The show is scheduled to come out in early January. Like, we're already in the end game with this show. This thing is already happening. But yeah, it's coming. So Blade is not unique with the conceptual issues. We're gonna get to Blade. We're gonna get to Blade. I got to talk about Blade too. Matter of fact, that's a great segue. Let me just go ahead, bring this up, and we're gonna get to this because Blade was on the topic for tonight on the agenda. What else we got? I wasn't feeling the Last of Us actress playing Hawk Girl though. So I didn't dislike her because the way that I saw Hawk Girl portrayed in the Justice League Unlimited cartoon is like my favorite interpretation of Hawk Girl. And to me, it kind of felt like she could match that energy. Like, I don't want her to do a one-to-one copy of it, but I think she could match that energy of somebody who can flip real quick, real freaking quick, right? Just like a light. And I would love to see her express that level of rage. I really liked her in The Last of Us. I had no idea she was Dora the Explorer. I really thought that she was shades of her character Dina from The Last of Us in the Superman movie. But I'm okay with her expanding that. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, I want to see Hawk Girl and Jon Stewart. No, I want to see Hawk Girl get stalked by Hawk Man and try to swat this dude like a fly every other week. That's what I want to see. I want to see that eternal love of reincarnation thing that they have going, with her being reincarnated and being eternal and all that, and them finding each other in every lifetime. That's what I want to see. So I would be okay to see more Hawk Girl if they ever did a spinoff for her. And I'm okay with that actress. I'm okay with her. Marvel is trying to bring a little heat. They know DC's about to give them a run for their money. I'm gonna talk about that too. Oh, I'm starring this. Markeisha, cooking. You got to pop it like fish grease tonight, girl. Go ahead. All right. I need a Kang and Doctor Doom team up from comics on the movie screen. I could do with that as well as their antagonistic relationship. I would like to see them beef with each other as well as much as they team up with each other. Like, I think Kang is still not sure if he's a descendant of Doom or not. So I'm okay with that. And I think Jonathan Majors and Robert Downey Jr. would eat scenes together. Like we already know. And we already know Robert Downey Jr. is levels above most of the Marvel actors. This is an Academy Award winner here. But Jonathan Majors, this man could act. He could act so good. The different versions of Kang that we saw from him. I saw Magazine Dreams. I saw him in Creed 3. This man could act. So to see him and Robert Downey Jr. chew up a scene together, where is the Ant-Man? You're like, oh, I get giddy thinking about it. I need that. But all right, let me. We talking about Blade, right? I'm supposed to be talking about Blade. All right, I don't think I could. I'm jumping around without my notes, so let me just talk about Blade. No notes, right? You guys trust me, right? Let's just get into it. So Kevin Feige did this interview, and let me skip from this right now. I'm gonna come back to it. Kevin Feige did this interview with a bunch of different outlets, not named the movie blog. Like, I'd never get invited. But they had this roundtable interview. And here's something that was interesting. Now, for those of you who follow the trades and follow the news, you might think, oh, Kevin Feige had one interview. And that's where I noticed an important detail. You guys might hear E-Man talk about this later, because I told him. Imagine where he got it. You heard it here first. I don't think there was one roundtable. I think there were several roundtables that Friday. So I got that from looking at this Variety article. A lot of outlets started diving into this, dissecting this, breaking it out into separate talking points. But one of the things that stood out to me early on in the article was this sentence here. Kevin Feige was teasing a small group of journalists, including Variety, while sitting at one of the most storied conference rooms in Hollywood, in the heart of Marvel Studios' offices on the Disney lot in Burbank. And I was like, wow. Not only did they invite the journalists to talk to Kevin Feige, they invited him into their home, right? Like I've never heard of journalists just going to the Marvel Studios and I never heard of this happening before. And they have some cute notes about their giddiness about being there. But the reason I wanted to emphasize that was because I also was reading this article from Games Radar. And at first I was just like, oh, well, let me just read a different perspective on the same conversation. But then I read this sentence here that stood out to me. And I was like, wait a minute. Oh. The MCU maestro, here, let me zoom it in for you guys. The MCU maestro is well known to be tight-lipped in interviews, but that doesn't seem to be the case when Games Radar walks into a room at the Beverly Hills Four Seasons Hotel to discuss the latest Marvel blockbuster, The Fantastic Four: First Steps. Now, possible it could have been this press day for the Fantastic Four, but if you look at this conversation and you read it, you see that they talk about X-Men, they talk about Spider-Man, they talk about Blade, they talk about everything. So they actually had multiple conversations or roundtables with Kevin Feige that happened on the same day. So I just wanted to point that out to anyone who cares. That and as to why there's so much news about Marvel lately, it's because Kevin Feige decided to do this roundtable interview that I don't think was originally planned to happen, and give it to folks. And I found it interesting that he decided to do it not just right before Fantastic Four comes out, but 2 weeks after James Gunn came cooking with Superman. You're like, whoa, 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 whoa. Now we got some competition. Because I'm like, yo, when I really think about it, ever since the MCU's been around, they haven't really had competition from the other studios. Not like to the degree or to the success that they were having, right? Spider-Man with Sony hasn't been doing as well. The X-Men franchise and Fox stuff, that stuff died while the MCU was thriving. And DCEU, we know what happened there. Kevin Feige decided to talk right after and put Marvel back in front. So he came out, and one of the topics that came up in one of these conversations was Mahershala Ali's Blade. Now, some of you might have saw at the Jurassic World premiere, Mahershala Ali was asked, I think once or twice, about the Blade movie, and he kind of was just like, yo, call Marvel. I want to make it too. Like, I'm ready. And Kevin Feige comments on why the movie hasn't been made yet. We never really heard a clear reason as to why it wasn't made yet, but now we have an official response from, he is Marvel. If it comes out his mouth, this is the official response. It doesn't get more official than Kevin Feige. And he actually said, and I'm going to do my own Kevin Feige interpret. I have no idea how he sounds, but this is how he sounds in my head. Well, the obstacle was Ryan Coogler called and said, we'd love some costumes for Sinners. And we said, take them, man. No problem. Because, he's a good friend. Take our costumes. We'll hold off on the movie. Like, this is how I think he sounds in my head. But he jokes and he's like, we gave the costumes that we made for Blade to Ryan Coogler to use in Sinners. And I'm like, okay, I mean, great. You helped him keep his budget down. You helped him make some money, and you threw a joke in there to help him promote his film. Love that. But then he gets into a really non-jokey answer, and he's like, and I highlight it here. The prolonged delays on Blade were a symptom of Marvel's overexpansion. And this is how he characterizes the studio's response to Disney's mandate to produce more content on the onset of the Disney Plus streaming service. Now, he's saying like, hey, we had to start making a whole bunch of stuff. Blade suffered, right? He gave some reasons, like we spent 12 years working on the Infinity Saga. They thought that would never happen to us, that they would have to stretch themselves thin, and then they have to, and it changed them. And then he's like, we didn't want to simply just put a leather outfit on him and have him start killing vampires. It had to be unique. It fell into the time when we started pulling back and saying only accept insanely great. It wasn't insanely great at the time. So, let me finish. And he continued, we didn't feel like, as we often do, you can have a good script and make it a great script through production. We didn't feel confident that we could do that on Blade, and we didn't want to do that to Mahershala, and we didn't want to do that to us. And he continues. He's like, you know what? The script had to be perfect. We didn't want to mess up Blade. It's way too important to us. Can't do that. And this is where I have to say, I call cap. I call cap so hard. How the hell you going to tell me? Granted, 2-time Oscar Award winner Mahershala Ali came to you and said, I want to do a Blade movie. And you said, absolutely. You're 2-time Academy Award winner Mahershala Ali. Welcome to Marvel. I love that. But don't sit here and try and tell me, one, you can't just throw on a leather jacket on him and have him start murking vampires. That's what I asked for. That's what I asked for. Like, if you could have just gave me what I wanted, but I get what you're saying. Because, like, Black Panther did something more than just be Black Panther. It became a movie that was a cultural thing that kind of went beyond the expectations. And you would love that with these characters, get the same reaction from the Black audience. I understand what you're saying there. I kind of do. However, I do not believe for a second that you're going to tell me that Blade was so important that you wouldn't dare go into production and make a good script great while in production. For those of you who are uncertain as to why I believe this, see example A. See example A. Avengers Doomsday is 3 months into production. So you're going to tell me in one interview, Blade was too important that we could not do that to Mahershala. But on the other hand, you got Robert Downey Jr., Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Patrick Stewart, Rebecca Romaine, excuse me. You've got the Avengers and the X-Men and the Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom on set in London without a script, but Blade is where we draw the line. Make it make sense. The math is not math in here. Ain't no way you've got way. This just does. I call cap. This is cap. Yo, so much cap. It doesn't make sense. And then on top of that, you got to remember, Blade went into production and was announced. Look at this image. The same time they announced Thor, Love, and Thunder. So you're going to tell me, hey, this is the same time we were pulling back. We were like, no, the script's got to be good. If that's the case, how the hell did Thor happen? How the hell did that happen to Thor if you were really doing that? I saw Thor. Did you guys see Thor? What did you think of Thor, Love, and Thunder? Was it did it reflect Marvel's new, we've got to protect the sanctity of the script output to you? Like, is it just me? Am I bugging? Let me know if I'm bugging, because it feels like cap. I see Critical Thinker said like 10 minutes ago, Feige's over here giving non-answers. He's out here giving non-answers again. This is what he does. And to me, he's also giving cap. It's giving cap. It was corny. What else came out after that? What else came out after Thor? Captain America: Brave New World. It was fine. It was cool. It was okay. Thunderbolts, better. I still don't like how y'all did Taskmaster dirty. It was better. Fantastic Four, I'll give you. Fantastic Four, I'll give you. Deadpool and Wolverine, it's okay. You know, I like it. It's fun. Am I sitting here saying it's one of the best written Marvel movies? Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. You know what I mean? So it is a lot of, it feels like a lot of cap from Feige in this moment. And I gotta, you know, I don't want to pick on him, but I'm not dumb. You know, like, you just got to read one article and read the others. Like, oh, we don't want to do this to our important projects, but Avengers Doomsday will do it too? Like, come on, man. Come on. That's corny. Yeah, it's corny. It's corny. Yeah, Blade saved Marvel. Avengers made them more money. Like, the way that they view Avengers, the way they view Avengers is the way Apple views the iPhone. It is their crown jewel. This is not something to be trifled with in the world, in the head of Kevin Feige. So, yeah. What else we got? Catching back up. Had a few choices to handle. Oh, I forgot Green Lantern. Yeah, it's a greenlit. Production is done. They're actually in post-production right now. So I expect that we'll do press interviews maybe sometime in like December-ish. But I don't know if I'll get invited. Like, it's really hard with Warner Brothers, man. Like, I don't know, like I don't get to talk to a regular contact there. They give me a multicultural contact, and a lot of studios do that. They're like, you know, you could get the regular contact, you get the multicultural contact. And I'm like, I thought we was getting rid of DEI. Can I get the regular one? I belong here too. Whatever. The bar's at different levels, not surprisingly. I mean, I don't think Blade, like, I love Blade. I do love Blade. I'm not expecting Blade to earn Avengers level box office. I'm not expecting Blade to do Black Panther level box office. I'm like, Blade is like a, you know, you give it an $80 million budget and you make 600 or 700 million in the box office. That's what I'm expecting with Blade. A crossover with two Blades would be great. Yeah, like, he's like, oh, we don't have access to all the tools. Wesley Snipes came back. Mahershala, you got two-time Academy Award winner Mahershala Ali right here. What? I don't know what else they need. I honestly don't know what else they're waiting for. Even Wesley Snipes has said on the record, I'm down. I'm just not always in Blade shape. Just give me a little bit of notice. I'll get in shape and I could do the movie. He said it. So anyway, I went on this tangent for a long time. I did want to talk about Marvel. You know, I don't really get to talk about Marvel. I never get excited to talk about Marvel. I'm excited to talk about the Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four. They got the two versions. All right, yeah, anyway. What else did we want to talk about? I did want to talk a little bit about this, but I don't want to beat up on Kevin too much. But I got to just talk about this real quick. Marvel had a plan to replace Kang with Doctor Doom long before Ant-Man and the Wasp of Quantumania. At least that is what Kevin Feige said in his interview. He was like, hey, we noticed a little early on the whole thing with Kang wasn't working. Maybe he's not really a Avengers level threat like Thanos was. So we thought we had to pivot to Doctor Doom. The pause is because I feel like that's Cap again. Cause like, in Kang absolutely is an Avengers level threat. And I think that the writing is what will help. I'm trying to figure out the most diplomatic way to say this. So Marvel has had a couple of Avengers level threats that they haven't always treated as Avengers level threats. Or if they did, I think they were threats that were actually worthy of their own sagas, but didn't get their own saga. I'll give an example. Ultron. Ultron is a whole problem. E-Man's going to say the same thing. Ultron is a whole problem. It's a whole problem. I'm not even going to rehash it. Watch E-Man's joint because I don't want to accidentally say something that I know he and I discussed and he's using for his live. But Ultron is a whole problem that I think that we saw in the What If series should have been like a saga. Like Ultron should not have ended the way it did. We're going to see him come back with, I think, Vision Quest, but we absolutely could have had a whole couple of phases devoted to Ultron. 100%. Galactus. Now, when you guys see the Fantastic Four movie, I think you'll see what I mean. Galactus is a threat that is worthy of a saga. 100%, without a doubt. When you see the way this mofo moves, you could absolutely see like, yo, Fantastic Four should absolutely be calling in Spider-Man, the Avengers, the Thunderbolts, the Sentry, all hands on deck to take on Galactus, because Galactus feels like a whole saga level threat. Doctor Doom. Don't get me wrong, I like Doctor Doom, but you know, a lot of people think of different phases or iterations of Doctor Doom, right? There's like the old 60s hokey mad scientist Doctor Doom. Why do I still have this on? You know, that's one version. Then we got the evil dictator Doctor Doom. You know, he's just like a crazy foreign leader who's messing with stuff, messing with the Wakandans. And then we've got Secret Wars Doctor Doom, who's a lot more capable. So the only difference is that Doctor Doom didn't make an evil plan to come into prominence. Like the story wasn't really a Doctor Doom story in that way, as it kind of like it fell into his lap. Like, oh man, I don't know how we got here, but I guess I have to see his ultimate power to save the galaxy. I'll do it. Like it was. I don't understand the perspective of viewing Doctor Doom as a bigger challenge than Galactus. I don't understand the perspective of seeing Doctor Doom as a bigger challenge than Ultron. I just don't see it. But I'm hoping Avengers Doomsday changes my mind. Yeah, I can't say much more because you guys, I can't even say why, but yeah, I can't say much more. I'll just stop there. But apparently they had this plot to replace him early on, and I call cap on this as well. I see you, Markeisha. You got it right. Because they're saying that they chose to reach out to to Robert about playing Doctor Doom even before Ant-Man 3 released. And I spoke briefly with executive producer Nate Moore once about Ant-Man. And I was like, you know, Ant-Man was whack, but you guys are going to bounce back. And the look on his face, because I was just way too comfortable. And I had been drinking. And I just said it like that without realizing, oh, snap, I'm talking about his artwork. This is something he probably feels emotional about. And I just said it was whack. But the look on his face when I said that, he was like, yo, we didn't know people were going to react like that. Like, I think they really thought Ant-Man was going to be really well received. Like, they had expectations for this. I think that was the reason why they were like, yo, we finally got we're going to put Jonathan. We're so excited for Jonathan Majors. We're going to make him the villain of Ant-Man. We got to get him in front of people sooner. We got to get him in front of people more. Throw him in Loki. Show all, like, they were planting these seeds. I don't believe that they started losing confidence in Jonathan Majors as Kang until two things happened, and they kind of happened around the same time. One, Ant-Man flopped, and it was critically bashed. And I think that was like a bucket of ice water on their backs. And then the Jonathan Majors scandal. And I think it was those two things that really was like, all right, now let's think about this. I do believe that, yeah, they probably were talking to Robert Downey Jr. about how they could get him back, because all the contracts of the OG Avengers ended. Robert Downey Jr. is like the face of the MCU. Can we get him back in some way or capacity? I think that I do believe that they were talking to him, but I honestly don't believe that they were trying to pivot to Doctor Doom before Ant-Man 3 released. I think that's cap. Few characters are cornier than Ant-Man. Yeah. But you know what? I did like the first Ant-Man. I did. With Luis, it's just like all the charm. And the second one was fine. It was okay. But a lot of the charm for the first two movies just weren't there in the third movie. Period. But yeah, that's what was going on with Doctor Doom. What else did I want to talk about? Oh, my thingy went to sleep. Do I need it? Where's my notes? I'm gonna just do some quick news bites real quick for you guys. I want to power through some of these. Real quick. Naomi Ackie, for those of you who are not familiar with the actress, she was in that movie. Blink Twice. If you guys saw the movie Blink Twice, which was Zoe Kravitz's directorial debut, starring Channing Tatum, it came out like right after Deadpool and Wolverine. Naomi Ackie actually played the lead role, which was basically Jeffrey Epstein, the movie. She's actually being tapped to appear in the Clayface movie, directed by James Watkins. So I don't know exactly what character she's going to play. I don't think she's playing Clayface. But we do know that this is the first name that we've got associated with the movie. So after Superman, oh yeah, she was in Mickey 17 as well, and Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. But yeah, after Superman and Creature Commandos, yeah, listen, I'm open to hear what you have to say. Let me see what this Clayface movie is all about. Why are you guys so excited? Let's find out. You know what I mean? So yeah, she's going to be starring in this movie. She is cast. It is official. Real quick. What else? All right, two more things I want to talk about. I'm going to talk about this real quick. What do you guys know about this Street Fighter movie? We gotta talk about Street Fighter, y'all. I'm worried. Oh my gosh, I'm worried. Like, ugly Sonic worried. Like, this is crazy worried. So, recently, and it's been a while since we went live, but recently, I think the most recent casting was the fact that they announced this Dalsim actor, which I think he actually looks kind of cool as Dalsim. Like, I'm with this. Like, this dude, shave his head, do the body paint, stretch his arms like Mr. Fantastic. I'm with it. He's Dalsim. But that's where my excitement stops. So, for those of you who don't know, the Mortal Kombat movie came out, the new reboot. It did well enough. They're doing a sequel. They got Carl Urban in it. They're keeping the budget low. They're getting some high profits. They're making movies great again. Nintendo came out with a Super Mario movie. It did pretty well. They're going to do a Zelda. Capcom's like, yo, we got to get in on this Resident Evil, Street Fighter. We got IPs too. So they're doing a Street Fighter movie. But it feels like they're doing Street Fighter movies and video game adaptations kind of like the way they did in the 90s and the early 2000s. Just grab whoever, keep the budget low, and put it out there. And so far, and I even put this here as a little bit of joke, because it's coming from Legendary Pictures. I expect more from them. They got Godzilla, Legendary. What are you guys doing? Street Fighter. You guys, you started off good, right? Yeah, like, oh, we got Andrew Coy as Ryu. For those of you who are not familiar with Andrew Coy, this is my guy here. He was in the TV show Warrior. He was Storm Shadow in Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe Origin. He's in Bullet Train. He's in Boy Kills World. This dude is that dude. He does the martial arts stuff well. He is our Ryu. I'm okay with that. Cool. Then we got Noah Centineo as Ken, and I'm like, who? Who is Noah? I don't know him. I don't know old boy. He was the recruit. I don't know. The Fosters, I don't know. I don't know who he is, but he's Ken. And I'm like, all right, Okay, fine. Give him some blonde hair, give him a blonde wig or whatever. Make sure he knows to train, right? Don't be coming out here like the dude who played Iron Fist, not practicing martial arts and showing up on set thinking you could fake it. Don't do that. Fine, that's our Ken. Fine. Kalina Liang as Chun-Li. So we got a Chun-Li. And I gotta admit, a lot of people, they look at Chun-Li and they're like, look, I only know one thing about this character. She can kick people like crazy, right? She's got some thighs that are massive. She kick people like crazy. And we've been seeing these pictures of Kalina, and I'm like, I hope old girl starts eating some biscuits. I hope she starts eating some biscuits. I do. Because, I'm not saying, look, I don't want to shame her. I'm not body shaming her. She doesn't have to look exactly like Chun-Li, but I think that there's going to be a lot of people who are expecting Chun-Li to be anatomically accurate as she's portrayed in the video game. They're expecting Thunder Thighs Chun-Li. Again, she's probably just going to change our interpretation of the character. We're going to appreciate her the same way regardless. I'm cool with that. Again, it's going okay so far with the casting. We got David Dastmalchian as M. Bison. And I'm like, okay, sure. Okay, put the hat on him. I can see it. Put the hat on him. Put the suit on him. Let him say some crazy stuff. I'm okay with that, right? Okay, fine. It's going okay. And then things get crazy. Y'all remember Guile? The dude from the army who does the kick? Sonic Boom! You remember him? Guile? Y'all know who they got to play as Guile? WWE wrestler Cody Rhodes. Now, a lot of people are going to look at Cody Rhodes and be like, oh, he's got the blonde hair. He's got the neck tattoo of the American stuff. He's all American. Yeah. He dyes his hair blonde. It's not a natural blonde. And a lot of people are concerned because he has a speech impediment. He has a lisp. I'm not going to say the jokes they say, but they're concerned about the way he enunciates his S's and how he's going to say the phrase Sonic Boom. And the fact that this is his feature film debut, to my knowledge. Now, those of you who have been around for a while and have seen a few times when wrestlers make the transition from wrestling to film, their feature film debut is usually a little shaky. For The Rock, it was The Scorpion King. I think for John Cena, it was this military movie with The Marine or something. Dave Bautista, he was in the RZA movie where he was like a karate dude. It's a little shaky. Like these guys didn't get more work right away. The Rundown saved The Rock, so he can thank the Stifler dude. But this right here, this is a yellow flag. He's not an actor like that. I've seen wrestlers turn actors and me learn to love them. I like John Cena a lot. I like Batista. I do like The Rock in a lot of stuff. But it's a little concerning. But it doesn't stop there. Then they say, all right, we got some more casting. You got some more casting? We got some more casting. Who else are you casting? How about Jason Momoa as Blanca, the Brazilian Blanca, the green dude who does the electricity. Ooh, that dude. How did we get here? And it doesn't stop there. There's more. They also announced, and it was confirmed on his Twitter, 50 Cent is playing Balrog. The rapper, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, is playing Balrog. How did we get here, y'all? I don't know how we got here. I don't even know what we're doing anymore. How did we get here? 50 Cent is ball. All right. It can't get no worse than this, right? Like you already are doing a lot with Cody Rhodes and 50 Cent and Jason Momoa just being in some role. Right? It can't get no worse than this, right? And then they announced comedian Andrew Schultz to play Dan. Now, I don't got anything against Andrew Schultz. I think the dude is hilarious. I've watched a couple of his stuff. He makes me laugh often. Dan is a comedic character, but this feels weird. This feels weird. I actually, because I'm not expecting him to do martial arts well, this is probably one of the better castings. It just feels weird because he's a close friend of 50 Cent, and I'm like, yo, I wonder if 50 was just like, yeah, he's coming with me. Find something for him. I don't know how that worked out, but this has got to be the most polarizing one for me. The next casting is probably the most polarizing one for me, and I almost hate to critique it. Roman Reigns is Akuma. And this hurts. Because I love my tribal chief. I acknowledge him. If you guys don't know how much I love wrestling, just like a cartoon, I keep stuff on deck. I keep it on deck. I am a wrestling. I acknowledge my tribal chief. Any opportunity I can, I will fly out just to walk out like this and acknowledge that he is levels above. But why is this Samoan, Italian kind of dude being cast as a Japanese person? Dan is Japanese, Dan Hibiki. The Andrew Schultz thing is a little weird there too. Why is Roman Reigns, this Samoan, Italian-ish dude, playing Japanese Akuma? Like, don't get me wrong. He already got the next thing. He's got the aura. I could definitely see him with the aura as Akuma. I'm not mad at the aura. Aura is on 10,000. But man, that is weird. Man, that is weird. That's weird. That's weird, man. And like people are doing fan art. They're like, Roman Reigns as Akuma. This is what he's gonna look like. It's weird, yo. It's weird. It's just weird. It's just, I don't always subscribe to changing the race of characters when their race define their character. And Akuma being a Japanese person, with what was it, Goki, his master, like that whole rivalry between them, that is part of their history. I don't know what's happening here. This movie's got me worried. I just wanted to put it out there. And they announced E Honda as well, Haruki Goto as E Honda, and I found out it's yet another wrestler. So the movie's made up of wrestlers, rappers, comedians, and some actors. It feels like Mortal Kombat 2. Like, not the new one, the old one. Like, some feels yellow flags, ugly Sonic yellow flags. I'm nervous. A lot of people are already writing this off. I had to just take a few moments to talk about Street Fighter. Man, I ate up a lot of my time. We've been going live for almost 2 hours already. I see people just join in, giving us some comments from earlier. I see you, Gem Custom Gaming, talked about Foundation. Hey, catch up. I appreciate you. Or catch us in the replays for all of you who catch us in the replays. Did I have any more news to talk about? I had one more I wanted to talk about, and then Fantastic Four. Scrubs is getting a reboot. That's pretty cool. Street Fighter. Feige confirms the X-Men director. I do kind of want to talk about the Paramount and South Park thing, but I think I'm gonna save it with the Blurds if they bring it up. The public broadcasting station lost federal funding for $1.1 billion. Oh man. Real quick, for those of you who care about Sesame Street, PBS, all of the educational stuff that comes on that channel, you have to understand that most of that is subsidized through the federal government providing funding for it. The federal government decided to pull funding from PBS, kind of like they pulled funding from books, kind of like they pulled funding from Harvard, kind of like they pulled funding from a lot of educational programs, and they're dismantling the Department of Education. They want to reconstruct the way children are taught, or at least it feels like they want to reconstruct the way children are taught and what they are taught. So if kids are told, from now on, we call this green. If you grow up and I told you we always called this green, it was always green. And that's kind of the scary part about when people start to change education and start to define what is and what isn't allowed to be taught to children. So, you know, winners write history, and history is taken as facts. Like I said, the 80s had me believing that the United States, America, were heroes to everyone. We'll see. She said straight to Tubi with that Street Fighter. Not reconstruct, privatize it. I mean, what's the difference? What's the difference between reconstructing and privatizing it, right? Because privatizing it, the way that we do it in New York anyway with our charter schools, is that private companies are the ones that fund the charter schools, and then they dictate what is allowed to be part of the curriculum. So if there is something so the concern for a lot of New Yorkers is that there's a conflict of interest. So what if Coca-Cola is like, the one that is funding the school, and they're like, hey, ease up on that talk about high fructose corn syrup. Don't go too hard there. Actually, don't even mention it. Just skip on over that. It kind of is concerning, because then people might not know how dangerous high fructose corn syrup is if the people who are funding it are the ones who get to have final say on what is and what isn't allowed to be part of the curriculum. So I don't want to get too political about this stuff. I do like to just communicate from a surface level without taking a side in all of my topics, where I stand on things. But I do have, as a father, I don't like the idea of things happening one way and then being taught a different way, based off of who's funding it, right? So if Elon or somebody opens a school, if Diddy opens a school and he's like, hey, baby oil is not that bad, it's just a freak off. Freak offs are things that everybody's allowed to do. Everybody should have a freak off sometime. And if you start raising kids and telling them like freak offs is just a way of life, that how would they know any better? Anyway, that was a really bad example. I don't know how I got there. Oh, pray for me, y'all. Pray for me. I think that was all my news topics I wanted to talk about. I was going to talk about Fantastic Four. I am kind of going over. I'm like, do I want to go over 2 hours? Freak it. I don't really use that feature to create clips anyway, right? So I did see the Fantastic Four. I did put up my non-spoiler review. I'm going to give you guys you guys can go to it if you guys are interested. It's on the movie blog. I'll even put a link in the chat for you guys, and I'll put something in the comments. You go ahead and read the review if you guys want. And something I do, if you guys don't notice, is like when you go to my website, I don't have any ads. There are no pop-ups, there are no ads, there are no banner ads, none of that. So I am writing with zero, influence from a monetary standpoint. But I did want to just give you guys a quick look at my final thoughts. Yeah. So I say at the end, Marvel's first family finally gets the MCU treatment they deserve. The movie is stylish, it's emotional, and it's cosmic in scale. While pacing issues and some undercooked characters hold it back from greatness, First Step lives up to its title. Pedro Pascal surprised me, Vanessa Kirby dominated, and for once the MCU remembered that superpowers aren't what make a family strong. It's love, the rage, and the chaos that holds them together. So I did have something prepared. I guess I could just rattle it off to you guys, right? You guys love when I do that. and then we'll wrap up. I don't know if I'll use this later, but you guys know I do this sometimes. Sometimes I'll just record something. This is spoiler free. I'm definitely going to do a proper review with you guys, but just bear with me while I at least get this out there and maybe use it. Maybe I don't. But let's go. Ready? So you guys, for those of you who don't understand what I'm talking about, I'm going to now record my pre-written review or reaction. I don't have any of my graphics ready. I kind of just do it with you guys, with me on the screen, and go from there, you know, and then I'll do the graphics later, but you guys get to see me in the raw form, unedited. Maybe I make mistakes, maybe I don't, but you get to see the real thing, and then I'll fix it up later. But this is what you get when you join the live. Ready? All right, so just bear with me, y'all. Welcome back to TMB, The Correct Opinion. I'm your host, Anthony White, your friendly neighborhood film critic with trust issues. Tonight, we're talking Marvel's bold new swing, the Fantastic Four, first steps. Now, was it the comeback the MCU needed, or did they just dress up the same leftovers in a vintage suit and call it fresh? Do me a favor, smash that like button, hit subscribe if you're new, and drop our rating, and drop your rating of the film in the chat. We're getting into it. Now, yeah, this movie is set in a retro futuristic 1960s New York, and it's got that Mad Men meets Jack Kirby energy. When we see this movie, the four are already powered up. There's no origin story, which I liked. We're dropped into the chaos of the world that's already weird. Galactus is a thing. Silver Surfer's floating around all moody, and the family's trying to hold it together. And somehow, it works. Kinda. So let me just get this out the way. When they cast Pedro, I rolled my eyes so hard I gave myself a migraine. Saw him in the trailers, I still wasn't feeling it. But when I saw him in the movie, the man brought that worn down genius energy. Granted, he's still not my Mr. Fantastic, but I really respect the performance. He and Vanessa Kirby, chemistry. And that was the key. Vanessa sold him. Because she is the movie. Vanessa is the movie. Vanessa Kirby delivered like Amazon Prime on a deadline. Sue was the soul. She was the heart. She was the brains. And when she said, "Johnny, kill her!" Oh, yo, I stood up. I barked. I started losing it. That line, top 5 MCU quotes. Don't at me. Johnny, kill her. Yo. When do you ever hear your superheroes break like that? Like, nah. Kill her. Like, first off, I don't even use what? Yes. Love that. Eben Moss Bacrock as the Thing. Solid casting. Literally, solid casting. But underused. So they gave Ben Grimm sidekick status. Like, the man was just there to throw rocks and catch feelings off camera. Like, we didn't get as much of the Thing that I would have liked. And this is almost like a good criticism for Marvel. If you guys from Marvel are watching, this is almost a good criticism. I wanted more. You were doing good. Give me more. Finish too quick. Come back. Anyway, the Thing was cool. I would have loved more of him. They captured everything, even his Jewishness, which a lot of people forget. It's very Jewish, and they captured that. I love that. Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, not bad. He's sweet. Kind of like Elroy Jetson with abs. But compared to Chris Evans's Wild Boy, especially after we saw him in Deadpool and Wolverine giving that tirade, this feels like the G-rated version. He's not bad. He's cool. I'm just saying I kind of like the other version with Chris Evans a little bit more. Julia Garner as Silver Surfer. She barely spoke, but when she moved, yo, she floated. She gave us this quiet intensity that worked. Same thing as the Thing, though. I just needed more of her. More surfer. Less surfing past her scenes. Just needed more of her. I also like the visuals. The world looks amazing. Like, if the Jetsons got an HBO reboot, amazing. Shackman leaned hard into that stylized look, and it pays off. And shout out to Michael Giacchio for another rich cosmic score. The music actually elevates the tension. Fantastic Four. I like all of that. But yeah, those are the things that I really enjoyed about the movie. I thought the movie did a lot of things really well. I enjoyed Galactus. I enjoyed the surprises. I enjoyed the comic book inspirations, not just from Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, but Jonathan Hickman. For those of you who know, Jonathan Hickman is like comic book God. If you hear his name, buy it. Don't think twice about it. Buy it, read it, and thank the gods that I said that, because it's that good. So yeah, it works out. But of course, with everything that's good, there are things that are bad. So I want to just say real quick, what are the things that I thought were bad? Obviously, we needed more Thing, period. Silver Surfer was good, but we barely got to hang with her. Johnny Storm, not bad, not standout either, but he's not bad. But the real thing, and you guys heard me say this earlier in the stream, Galactus felt like a phase level threat. I'm not going to talk about how they handle Galactus, but I felt like what they presented in this movie was a phase level threat. And I felt like we could have had more than what we got here. I don't know if we'll see Galactus again. I don't know, based off of the way they concluded his story in the film, how it's going to work. But it felt like he should have been a phase level villain. I would have loved to have seen more of Reed playing with technology and his unique inventions, his unique tech, maybe even having something shady, like Jesse Eisenberg style, like he did with Zod's ship. I felt like we could have had more hints of his character's dark side, and it just feels like a missed opportunity. Not really a knock, but again, I just would have liked more. So overall, Fantastic Four First Steps, it isn't perfect. It's not even top tier MCU, but it has heart. It surprised me. And Vanessa Kirby put the whole effing franchise on her back. And Pedro, he did his job. I still like John Krasinski, but I'm going to stop hating for now. That was the first step. Anyway, let's see if they can take a second one without tripping. So when you guys get an opportunity, do me a favor. Let me know what y'all think. Was it fantastic or was it just fine? Drop your takes in the comments, hit like, subscribe, and if you really want to support the show, grab the merch. The link is in the description. I'm Anthony White. This was The Correct Opinion. Catch y'all next time. And for those of you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I am done. That is the recording. That is everything I had for this episode. I mean, we touched on a lot. We touched on Foundation. We touched on a lot of movie news. We touched on Hulk Hogan. We touched on Malcolm Jamal Warner, Fantastic Four. We touched on a lot. But I think that was everything I had. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you guys catch us in a replay, you missed the live stream, it's always cool that you guys are able to catch us. But Thursdays at 6 is the target time. I know sometimes I'm not able to do this, but I'm going to get back to it, y'all. And if you guys are in the Foundation, come back tonight Episode 3's deep dive is going live at midnight. And of course, if I get an opportunity, I'll see y'all tomorrow with the blurs. Anyway, that's all I have for this one. If you're new here, like, subscribe, buy some merch. Otherwise, I'm going to check you all later. Peace.